Well, do you want to go ahead and start with Pelosi? I know you're excited.
Um,
I know you're excited to know that she's going to be coming back, bro.
yeah, it's what's that?
It's
What's that quote? What did Hakeem say about her?
uh, what was it? I can't remember.
Oh, um,
Let's see.
um,
Well, let me go. Let's go to this one. Here we go. All right, there she is, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, reelected as Democratic leader,
yeah, man, she's such a fighter. We're so lucky.
master legislator. She's amazing. She's a master at getting reelected despite horrible down ballot performances.
Well, um, I mean, the way I said about it was like
Mm-hmm.
it, the like the right wing Democrats, like the one of the reasons why they're keep going further right is because they keep providing cover for each other, right? Like Biden was the nominee because he can make Pelosi look like she's actually like if not progressive, then at least like she's not like working for the other team because it's like it really looks from the outside like she's just like coordinating with the Republicans, right? Like it looks like
Yeah.
she's like purposely running the caucus the way she does so that it keeps everything purposely hamstrung, right? So we have Biden in there, who's like even more of a a pseudo Republican.
Yeah.
You like,
Look at what it says here,
here,
bro.
let's watch this clip.
See, let me read this first. The fact that Pelosi is expected to remain on as speaker is a sign of how strong her hold is over the House Democrats, even after suffering disappointing losses in the 2020 election.
Well,
And
it's because
Pelosi's
anybody
remained.
who would counter that is will be squashed, right?
Yeah,
Like it's like the devil you know is better because she's old, and there's like if you have like Hakeem came in and he would be younger
right.
and just as bad at politics, so that we would have to have a harder time getting him out in 2 years. If like they're never going to let a progressive run the caucus, right?
Uh huh.
I don't think that's likely, but
Yeah, I
you
mean
know,
that's why they're trying to do those reforms to the Progressive Caucus to at least have something of a foothold without these centrists trying to go ahead and meddle into their shit. But this was the line that got me. Like, Pelosi has remained defiant even after the losses, telling reporters last week, "I take credit for winning a majority and holding the House."
yeah,
Oh,
she's
great!
so like
Oh,
her and
great!
Feinstein too. They're so like it's like they're in the bubble to such an extent that like you can't criticize them at all. Like you saw with Wolf Blitzer,
Mm-hmm.
like they are so insulated from the actual problems anywhere that they think that they're doing a bang up job, right? They think that like of course we're doing great. Why would I take credit for any losses? Like we're killing it. It's like
Jesus.
meanwhile these lines to the food banks are out of control. New York City had to
But do you
cancel
feed them,
in-person
Matt?
school
Do you
again.
feed them?
We feed them. We feed them, Wolf. Like if you're ever arguing about like who's more
Oh,
charitable or
Jesus,
like
man.
you should know that you're not in a good place. Like you can't. There's no way to win an argument on national TV about like who's more charitable. It's like if you catch yourself doing that, you should probably take a step back, right? Like
Yeah.
that's never a good look. Um,
Well, let's go to this. The tweet that you put out here, bro. And let me see. We should probably move over to the side. There we go. Yeah, Joe Biden is a nominee because he's the only name brand Democrat that let Pelosi keep pretending to be any of that bullshit.
a voice
So,
for the voiceless, a
oh,
defender of the disenfranchised.
yeah. So there was the. Oh,
What's
why am I
poppin'?
getting an ad here? Stupid ad.
What's
But I mean,
popping?
beforehand, Jeffries was it looked like for a little bit trying to take her spot. That's
Yeah,
why. That's kind of why this is important to look at it at all. But all right, let's
he
see what.
doesn't care.
Let,
Like he'd like to be speaker to like, do more. like careerism, right? To like
Yeah.
self-aggrandize himself, but like it's not like he has any ideological difference. It's like
No,
the people
it's.
have like
But
they're
I mean, don't Democrats aren't like libs tired of seeing her out there now? Like, aren't they just tired? But
no, they fucking love her, man. They
uh
yes queen. She clapped. Remember, she
oh
clapped funny.
shit. Well, let's see Hakeem Jeffries out here.
We are unified in our sense of purpose to go out, to work closely with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris to fight for the people, to make life better for working families, middle class folks, senior citizens, young people, veterans, those who aspire to be part of the middle class, the poor, the sick, the afflicted, the least, the lost, and the left behind. That's what House Democrats do. Nancy Pelosi, a voice for the voiceless, a defender of the disenfranchised, a
Oh.
legendary legislator, a notorious
Oh.
negotiator,
Oh
and a
Jesus.
powerful, profound, prophetic, principled public servant, Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
Sweet Jesus,
Thank you
man.
so much, Mr. Chairman, for your kind words. I always accept any
Do you think
compliments
she wrote
on
that
behalf
herself and made
of the
him read
House
it?
Democratic Caucus because they
One of her
enable any
assistants,
of what we
probably.
do to be possible by their courage, their integrity, and their just beautiful vision for a better America.
I am pleased to look to the 117th Congress,
Yeah.
but I'm focused on the 116th Congress. We need to get work done for the American people they need right now.
We must, in this Congress,
Oh,
Fucking
there he
clever.
is.
on
Fucking
the
clever.
dreams and aspirations of the children and their families.
Man, I
Yeah,
look
they
forward to
normalize
seeing all
each
these
other.
motherfuckers getting primaried out.
That we
Yeah.
can work together within our caucus and reaching out across the aisle to get done what needs to be done for the American people.
And I can tell you this about our caucus. We are the guardians of people's hopes and aspirations.
you're not.
And
No, you're
we
not.
are going to be the unified engine for change.
Yeah. Unified engine for change. I'm gonna make that
no.
my new handle. um,
What are they talking about? Why do they go out there and jerk each other off publicly? Like if it makes a difference.
they normalize each other. Right?
That's what
they
this
do.
is, right?
It's like they're all so terrible and they're all so old and decrepit and like can't think straight. But when they're all like, that's who we see, right? Is them. Like those are like voices of the party, so they all kind of seem normal because they're all so fucking crazy. Like,
Yeah.
they're all so bad at their job.
And they're all like getting picked off too. I mean, like we're still. I mean, that's one thing with these races. I'm glad we're kind of picking off that leadership because Joe Crowley would have been up there too, or one of these, or Lacey Clay.
What did she say? Unified engine for hope.
For unified engine for change.
Yeah.
Unified engine for change.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we got rid of Crowley. That's good, but
Yeah, and then talking about Lacey Clay got ousted. So I mean, do you think to some degree they're bitter also about that all their boys and their colleagues that they worked with forever are getting ousted by these young upstart Democrats that are just much more getting. I mean, they get popular so quickly too. I mean, when on that list that we looked at, wasn't AOC even above Pelosi already? Yeah, she was, right? I mean, that has to sting a little bit.
Yeah.
They dedicate their whole they dedicate their whole shit to politics, and then these young congressmen come in and people like them right away. But I mean, it's because of what they're doing. It's because of what they stand for. They're not afraid to go ahead and be open about standing by their principles, and people gravitate towards that. They gravitate towards these people being genuine and actually wanting to listen to their constituencies.
I'm just so sick of them playing dumb. It's like, it's your messaging is not working because there is nothing there. Nobody likes that, like that vague, just like we're, like that, whatever they're running on, right? That we're not Trump, like
Yeah.
we're decent, like we're looking out, like we're a unified engine
and
of hope, like all that
what the
shit
hell does
does
that
not
mean?
work. Nobody likes that. No one.
No,
Like
nobody
the
likes
only
that
people
shit.
who
It's
tolerate it
stupid.
are the people who are in your team already. Like nobody, you're not going to attract new voters with anything like that. You're not going to inspire young people. You're not going to, convince people to change parties or to, become involved again. You're not. You're just going to confirm what you already have, and you're dwindling, your like, dwindling base of support, right? It's
Yeah.
not, it's a bad strategy, and they have to know that, right? Like,
I mean, do they have to know? I mean, they have to know how boring they fucking are. I mean,
well, like,
sure.
I don't even care if they're boring, but like, they could be boring if they were saying like
Uh-huh.
this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna fight for, we're gonna submit this
You
proposal,
mean
and then
they
we're gonna
could they
primary
could
this. Like,
boringly fight for the right things? You mean is what you're
yeah, that'd be
saying?
fine. I wouldn't mind that shit. And like, I would still say not to do that. Like, say they had good policy proposals, and that's why people were voting for them, and
Yeah.
then they still were doing like the decency, like soul of America shit. Like,
Uh,
if they were still doing that, right?
but it's
I
so
would want them to
cringe,
not do
bro.
that because it's bad. It's bad strategy. It's
Yeah.
like bad tactics. But it wouldn't matter as much. But like, they do that now because they think it covers up for their
Mm-hmm.
lack of an agenda or a vision, and it doesn't, right? Like voters see through that. Like they're so lucky they barely pulled this off, and like they're not going to be able to win another
Yeah.
election like that, right? They're going to lose more seats in 2022, and it's just sad because like the country really needs them, right?
Mm-hmm.
It really needs a Democratic Party to counter
Yeah.
this death cult